I want to go out front now, as promised, to the Pima County Sheriff, Chris Anos. And Sheriff, I appreciate your time very much, and it's just shocked and saddened to be speaking to you about this. I know you say that Nancy Guthrie has been abducted. What makes you say that?
You know, there's first and foremost, we know that Miss Guthrie is got every, just like we said, sharp as a tack. Her wits are about her. This isn't somebody who wandered off. This is an elderly woman in her mid-80s who suffers some ailments that makes her mobility, her ability to walk around very difficult. The family told us. She couldn't go 50 yards.
Okay, so in this clip, we're going to watch a few clips because I do have Jake Tapper also talking about this situation. This is Aaron Burnett out front on CNN talking about this abduction of Savannah Guthrie's mother. What? This must have happened yesterday because I'm looking at the reporting and a lot of reports are from like 19 hours ago, 20 hours ago. I'm saying must have happened yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm just coming into it a little bit. But her name is Nancy Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie's mother was abducted from home. Savannah Guthrie is one of the hosts of the Today Show on NBC. This is a very serious situation going on here. We'll talk a little bit more about Savannah, or who she is. We'll look at Jake Tapper talking about this too on CNN. So this story is exploding everywhere. And I woke up and I started seeing this on Twitter and I was like, what is going on? So I wanted to see what's going on together. So we'll take a look at it. It's pretty interesting, and while we pray for the return of Nancy Guthrie, let's just say that right away. Let's go ahead and get right into the information about Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, being abducted on the Aaron Burnett Out Front show on CNN, and we'll also have Jake Tapper talking about it too, and we'll get some more information about that.
And that in and of itself is a concern. But then we also have some things at that scene that indicate to us that she was removed from that scene against her will. I can't go into all those details. It's not that I'm trying to be secretive. I get that everybody wants to know and they all want to help, and we appreciate it so much. But there is a case that we need to protect that integrity and continue working with our investigative leads.
But you are confident, Sheriff, just to be clear, that it was an abduction.
I've been doing this for 50 years. I have a gut feeling, but it came to me that yesterday in the early afternoon that she was abducted. We didn't know who she was, but we knew that we had this middle-aged, this mid-80s woman missing from our home. And so we have our search and rescue team out there who does great work all the time. And they are out all the time. I mean, it's almost daily. They just are.
Okay, I want to skip to the part of her meds are important, and then I'll go find an introduction to the story for you guys because I do want to know what kind of medication Nancy is on because they are important. If she is on routine medication, it is important that she gets those meds immediately. So there's a lot of factors that can play into this whole situation. Again, we do send out prayers that Nancy makes it home ASAP. And let's get right back into it.
Sheriff, do you believe that Nancy was hurt when she was taken? I mean, I know it was against her will. So, I mean, do you think, we heard Jenna talk about her needing her medication. I mean, do you know anything about her condition?
We know, and of course, we don't want to get into her medical history, but we know that she, like I said, sound mind, capable, all of those things. She just had some physical ailments that limited her ability to move, to get around. But my goodness, we just know that. Without getting into too much, it is our belief she was removed from that home against her will. We hope. We're racing the clock here. You said that earlier. Her meds are important, and the family has told us 24 hours without those meds could be fatal. And
Okay, so let's go figure out maybe what kind of meds these are. Let me find you guys a more of an introduction to this story because, you know, shout out to the sheriff. I don't want to make it sound like wow, 3 days ago this was happening. Oh my gosh, like, where have I been? So, who's gonna ask me for money? We have investigators in Arizona have not yet identified a person of interest in the suspected abduction of NBC News anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother. In the days since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie disappeared in the middle of the night from her home in Tucson, authorities have said they are investigating an alleged ransom note and believe she was taken against her will. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has issued a plea for the public to help investigators and said they're working around the clock. U.S. President Donald Trump also ordered all federal law enforcement to help get her mother home safely. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie, along with her 2 siblings, issued an emotional plea for their mother to be released, noting her poor health and that she was without her medication. Everyone is looking for you, mommy. She said, everywhere we will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. Here's what we know about the case. Okay, hold on. And I'm trying to read this fast. Trust me, I will be getting into a clip really soon about, with Jake Tapper explaining some more about this guy. So bear with me with the reading. Guthrie was last seen in her home in Catalina Foothills, an affluential neighborhood roughly 6 miles northeast of Tucson on Saturday evening. All right, so Saturday evening she was last seen. And this had to be... what day is it today? Okay, so that was on the 31st. Okay. When family members dropped her off around 21:30. So 21:30 is 9:30 p.m. local time. All right. So alarm grew on Sunday morning when members of the church noticed she was missing and notified her family. Obviously, this is a lady who goes to church every Sunday because notifying the family that you didn't see somebody one day is like one church. Like, for me, anyway, so, all right, okay. After the family called 911, authorities began a search that soon included volunteers and federal officers from Border Patrol, which stretched into the next morning. Homicide detectives also arrived at Nancy's home, an unusual move, according to Nanos. Once inside, he said law enforcement had encountered a scene that was cause for grave concern, but Nanos has not elaborated on what they found. On Monday, Nanos labeled the home a crime scene. When asked whether authorities were still looking for Guthrie alive, Nanos replied, we hope we are. Wow. And that's the guy that we were just listening to earlier. Officials have warned that she may be in dire health without her medication. She has been described as not in good physical health, but has no reported cognitive issues, Nano said. In their video message, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings said her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs to survive. She needs it not to suffer. And this is the mom and the daughter. So terrible. Authorities follow up with leads, blood at the home, and a ransom note. While there was no initial indication of that Nancy Guthrie could have been targeted because of her name, the sheriff said, we can't dismiss that. On Tuesday, Nanos told reporters, we do believe Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we are. So we saw that. When asked if they were testing the blood found at the house, now I'm just kind of loosely so we can get back to the other clip. I'm not saying there was blood inside that house or outside that house. So he also said that evidence gathered at the home had been sent for analysis. Okay, so far the lab results and other evidence have led authorities have not led them to a possible suspect. Nanos also said office had received a copy of a ransom note and working with FBI to authenticate it. So afterwards, they got a ransom note. Okay, Trump says it's a very unusual situation. and Savannah says that they are ready to talk. She said, adding, we need to know without a doubt that she's alive, and that you have it, please reach out to us. Since people really believe that somebody has this lady, authorities have urged public to call sheriff's office with information. People should. In social media posts on Wednesday, the sheriff's office said the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible and does not assist the investigation. For sure. Okay. And I already told you guys who Savannah Guthrie was. I just wanted to get into.
They're there yet. They're looking at a lot of things.
Candace, based on what we know so far, what's your take on the type of person or people that law enforcement are likely looking into right now?
Well, this looks to me like it was committed by people that have experience committing other crimes. This is not what we call a kiddie crime. A couple teenagers took her to CG. Maybe we could get some money. It doesn't look like that at all. And if that were the case, I think something would have happened by now, and it has not happened.
And John, we now know that Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker last synced with her phone around 2 a.m. on the night she went missing early Sunday morning. Her phone was still at the house. Does that help investigators in any way in terms of their search?
Well, it narrows potentially the window of time from when she was dropped off 9:30, 9:45 after dinner, dropped off at home, till 11 a.m. when she didn't arrive at church. So it appears that device works in proximity with the cell phone. So once the cell phone was still at the house, but Nancy Guthrie wasn't, those two devices stopped separating and they stopped pinging. That could give them a better idea of timing. But it's still a large gap in time where an abductor could have traveled a great distance. One of the things we haven't really considered here is, while the message has gone out to all of the people around Tucson, if you see her, if you spot somebody anywhere in Arizona, we remember in the Elizabeth Smart case, she ended up going from Salt Lake City to San Diego and back. This is one of those things where there's been enough time, so everybody in the country who believes they see someone with her or her somewhere should be reporting that.
And Candace,
I don't know if that, by the way, guys, I do have a medical background, but when it comes to like medical engineering, such as the pinging of the pacemaker, hold on. Okay, so I checked, as far as the pacemaker, so I did look. So yeah, you do have to be next to the phone for it to sync. I just wanted to see if it was one of them things like it could, automatically upload to like a certain site. Maybe it wasn't like uploading information to a certain site, but it is that you have to be near the phone. So that's actually like I don't want to say it's a good sign, it's just, when I first heard that it didn't upload data, I was like, oh my God, did it turn off? And you know what it means, turn off. But no, it can still be on. It's just not near the phone. Okay. The medications that she's probably on while on this pacemaker, somebody on a pacemaker could be taking like a beta blocker. There's many meds. She's on massive cardiac medications, right? I'm not going to say massive, and I'm not going to say, of course, for sure. I do not know. This is speculation. But a beta blocker, something to assist with heart rhythm and things like that. Possibly on a diuretic, because what it is that you have a weak heart. So she has to have a medication. So you can't pump enough blood to get the right kind of ejection fraction for the heart isn't strong enough to get the right kind of ejection fraction to push enough blood to all the organs. It needs some assistance with that pacemaker. So you might even have some congestive heart failure, some swelling. So a person like this might need like a Lasix or something. She might need like oh my God, she might, okay, this is really good to see. So she's probably on, sadly, I don't mean to say it's good to see, like, so I can, diagnose her or whatever, but looking at the discoloration in her arms, definitely has like a peripheral issue with blood flow, and that's still even with the pacemaker. So she might be on an aspirin. She could possibly even be on an Eliquis or blood thinners to prevent clotting. Okay. There's always, and somebody like this more than likely has high cholesterol. They're on a statin. Of course, she is in some pain. That's why she has. Not saying that's why she has a cane. You can tell that she needs assistance with her gait. They said that she is in pain. So this isn't somebody that's going to be able to move from place to place. It's somebody who. Oh God, I hate it. This is somebody who could probably even slow someone down with whatever they're trying to do if they do have her. It's a lot. There's a lot, and I haven't even started yet. So I'll see how this goes, and we'll look at it and stay focused on it. And even if whatever happens, I'm definitely praying for this family. Like, because, I can't even, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Like, I just can't even. So, Father God, please find this lady light, because God, I can't even imagine what this woman, Savannah, and her family, what they're going through. It is got to be draining them in all kinds of ways. So we send out prayers to their families. This is no joke.